Hey everybody, welcome back to another Diecast review. Today, it is time to take a look at the all-new Elite Premier 124 scale NASCAR diecast. These just came out. The first wave of them have kind of come through. And yeah, we're going to be taking a look at them. These are all new to the 2024 season, so we get a very small handful of them. They are not nearly as well produced as far as the quantity of them. You will see generally a few per driver, but you definitely you don't get every car made in this Elite Premier. It's only specific cars that are getting made, generally the more popular ones. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So this is the new sleeve box. If you wanted to look at it for size, so I can show you a comparison to compared to a normal size box. There we go. So you'll see noticeably taller, noticeably longer. So there is a good size difference between this box and the boxes we've seen in the past. So we will have a slightly bigger box with that. Let's go ahead and start the first part off. We lift this up, and you see right inside, that's the Elite Premier box. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip this upside down so I can get that out. There we go. Okay, so there is our box right there for the Elite Premier. As you can see, we've got just Elite Premier Edition, Elite Premier Edition. The box itself is just solid black with gold foil. So you can see the gold foil there on the top, and then this little checkered line that goes around. You'll see the side, very gold foil, Elite Premier 124 scale. And then when it comes to the tag, so the little tag that tells you what car and how many were made, that is actually on the bottom box. So here you can see Chase Elliott, number 9 Hooters, one of 144. So 144, pretty good number actually. That's a decent chunk of these made, but there's a lot of cars like this that are only going to be made 50, 60, 100. So much lower quantity for a lot of the other die casts that are coming out. So this is how they open. You just pull the sleeve box off the top, and then inside you'll notice right off the bat, this is very different from what we see with most other cars because it is in its own display case. So what is the best way to open this? I have found actually one of the easiest ways is actually to flip it upside down in my lap, because the box may hang upside down, but it allows me to control it so it doesn't hit the ground too hard. So you weren't able to see it, but I flipped it upside down in my lap and just let the box kind of slide out. There are two little inserts. These go on the side. Don't throw those away. That's what allows you to keep those in the box. So like I said, just don't chuck them. And then there's some cards and inserts that will fall out, and we'll take a look at all of those here in just a moment. So now that we're down to here, we're going to slide this down one peg. And now we can get a better look. So first thing it comes with, this is actually a car cover. So you see the little Elite logo on it, but very similar to the cars from 2008. It's just a little nylon cover. You could put it over the car. It looks like a rain cover. Literally looks exactly like a rain cover. But yeah, it doesn't do anything spectacular. Honestly, I don't know that I would ever really use it to put on the cars because nylon and paint aren't exactly best friends like microfiber is. So yeah, it doesn't really do much. The Hendrick cars this year are coming with this. Same card as last year, but it's a little bit harder material, a little stronger material, so a little bit stiffer card than last year, but same thing. It's this bumper sweepstakes thing that they've came with all the Hendrick cars for the last 2 years, I think. Now, things that are unique to this one. We obviously have this. This is with all the cars, and this comes with all the cars as well. But this is the new one. This is the, you've reached the next level of collecting for the Elite Premier Edition. So this is a standard card. There's nothing crazy on it. You'll see the Elite logo is kind of like stamped into the card. So this, like I said, a little different. This one here is going to have kind of a little specialty to it. And then this is the card that's exclusive to the Elite Premier, but these you remember from our stuff before, the gold foil on the card, and then you see we got 141 of 144 for the DIN. So these were a thing before, they just came back now, and like I said, these are exclusive to the Elite Premier. So that'll deal with all of the cards. Obviously, if you have a race win, it's going to come with a race win card, it's going to come with a race sticker, it's going to come with some of those features. But now let's go ahead and jump right into the car and the case. So the case itself, I was actually kind of like, okay, a case, whoop-de-doo, I'm not really that impressed. This is a good case. You know, actually, now that I have this here, I'm going to do something. I want to check and see if these are stackable. I have another one sitting over here. Give me 1 second here. Because I wanted to check and see if these cases are stackable, because I think it'd be very interesting if they are. I would hope so, but we can't guarantee, so we're going to have to wait until I can get this on here. All right. So here's the case for the oh, there goes the screw. There goes the other one. I'm going to pick those up quick. And there goes my headphones falling out of my pocket. And it probably just activated. Good grief. All right, let's let the mic fix before everything else falls out of my pockets. All right, so anyway, here's this case. Oh, yes. Very stackable. Definitely a stackable option here. These, good, solid. I mean, they'll sit in there good. Now, how high can you stack these? I wouldn't go more than maybe 4. Safely, that is. I think you could go higher, but they do sit in there. So here's the base. First thing you'll see is these little ridges here. That's what allows it to sit on the stacking spot. So yes, for those who don't know, these cases are stackable. So that is a great choice. Glad they did that, because I mean, it would have just it's a perfect idea. Like, you may as well do it, you know. It'd be a waste if you didn't. So yeah, the cases are stackable. That's a great thing, because these are going to be really expensive cars, and if you want to display them, it'd be awesome to keep them in these cases to keep the dust and dirt off them. Now that we've gotten through that, I think we're going to move on to the next step, which is just getting the car out. So it does come out of the case pretty easily, just like that. Just kind of pull and it'll kind of lift off. The lid is not super strong, so I wouldn't ever carry the car by the lid. So in other words, if it's like this, I would never pick up the case like this and expect to carry the car. I would always hold it around the base if I'm carrying the car somewhere or something like that. Don't grab this and think that if I lift up, I'm going to be able to just walk around like this with the car. No, this is not that strong a lid. It'll pop right off and you'll drop your car. Don't do that. This is a really expensive car. You obviously don't want to be scratching it, or worse, denting it, chipping it, breaking it. Like, we obviously don't want to do that. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at our base. So on the base, we have the Elite Premier Edition sticker there. The cool part is that sticker is just a spot. It's a little pedestal thing. But the best part is we're going to be able to add stuff to that. We're going to make custom decals and stuff that we can stick on here. And we can do so much cool stuff with. You know, if it's a first career win, second career win, a track logo for a race win, there are so many things we can do with this base. And I think, is this broke already? I think that might be broke. Yeah, this is broke. Huh. So we did find one defect already. That is definitely not strong enough. That little clip there broke on the base. So this is going to break. I'm going to try and probably put some stuff on it, but I don't think it'll hold. So that's broke, but not a huge deal. It's just one of these. It's just a piece of plastic. They're going to fix or change the car at all. But yeah, so the car is held in by the same screws that hold it to the regular base. Obviously, it has the Elite Premier Edition, and that's just a solid base all the way around. So the good news is you can take the car off. You could paint a finish line on here. You could paint some track detail. You could decal. Like, you have a lot of options of what you could do to customize this. But for now, or at least for starters, it's just a good solid base, good strong base. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip it upside down in my lap again, because that's just the safest place I've always found to leave a die cast, because I can kind of situate it so my pressure points aren't bad or in a spot that would do any damage to the car. And then I can get the car off the base and we can take a look at it. So like I said, I just do that. You can get it however you feel comfortable getting the car off the base. Like I said, that's just my preference, has always been to do that, because I find it to be the safest way to make sure I don't accidentally, put too much pressure on the windshield or the spoiler or break something. Okay, so now we are all the way off. We're going to go down another level. We're going to get even closer. So now that we're even closer to this car, the Elite Premiers have some neat specific details. One of them is this mirror right there on the side post. You can see that one has a mirror, or a driver's side mirror right there. I'm going to pull over a regular Elite real quick just to show you what that looks like. This is AJ's Roval win. You'll notice there's no mirror on that side post, nothing. So this is an Elite, and this is an Elite Premier, so the Elite Premier does have that. Another thing you'll notice, if I just flip it upside down here real quick and get the roof flaps to pop open, you'll notice we got some tethers in there. So the roof flaps do have their tethers back on both of those. And so sometimes the tethers can be a little tricky getting set back in there. You'll see this roof flap is kind of getting stuck. What you'll actually see is the little thing can sometimes bump into those hoses. So sometimes you have to situate it and kind of poke it. But it usually goes back down. Don't force it. Don't bend it. Just kind of let it settle into its spot, and it'll find a good spot to rest. Then we'll go around to the back side here. Obviously, we got Follow Me to Hooters. We got Napa. I haven't even gotten into the paint scheme stuff. But we pop this open. Here you can see 2 more tethers in the rear of the trunk. I don't see braces. I would love to get the braces back. But one step at a time, we're getting a little closer. We obviously have Hooters here on the front, which is this gloss. So we have the matte black and then this metallic orange, which I will say looks very, very nice. I think the orange for the Texas Wind's going to be a little brighter. This orange is a little bit dark, so I think the orange will be a little bit brighter on the Texas Wind, but honestly, not a bad look. There are some other Hooters cars that have been more off when it comes to details. That's happened from time to time. So yeah, we do also have the same antenna holes as before. It's just one for the big one and the small hole for the radio one. So those are back as well. We also have this little detail here, which is just a little red paint on that spot. It's the same thing as the other car. There's just a little red paint on there. Here's the good news. If you really like the way that detail looks with that little red accent there, you can do that yourself. Just get a little model paint, take your car apart, get to the dash. It's pretty easy. So if you love that detail of the little like additions to the dash, don't worry. It's not hard to do. So definitely not worth paying for the whole extra car if that's kind of your biggest selling point, just to make it look a little better on that spot. Obviously, I got this because I love the tethers, the braces, the little extra details, because there's a couple more we're going to get to here. But we got the number 9, we got Hooters, we got the Hooters owl there. Let's go around to the right side. Same thing over here. There is a couple little details here I'm going to show you right now. Here, if I can get nice and close. A little tough too, but you can see inside the right side window. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. So right inside here, right where that little red ring is, it just hangs off the window. That's a little safety strap or something that helps pull the window in. That is not on the ARCs. That is exclusive to the Elite Premiers. You see that little piece hanging down? That's one of the tethers for the roof flaps right there. You'll see that hanging down in there. There's also some dash detail. The digital dash has decaling on it, so that actually looks correct. So there's a couple pieces in there as far as that detail that also makes it a little bit more intense. You look underneath, the only detail under here you'll notice DIN number 141 in that little gold plate. So you'll notice that little gold plate there. That is exclusive to the Elite Premiers. The Elites have it in up here at the front, kind of stamped in, and then the ARCs are the same way. So I'll show you here real quick. I pulled this off of a different car, but you'll see this is an Elite. See how the number is stamped up there at the front? Obviously, that's a different car. That's the AJ car there. And then we're actually going to go ahead and take a look underneath the car because I haven't had a chance to do that yet. So I brought over a little koozie. It's a fold-up koozie, but it allows me to flip this. Oh, sorry, not this one. I'm going to use a different car. So I actually have the Napa car already off its base for a review I did, and I'm going to flip it up on its side so you can look underneath. I want you to be able to see what this looks like. So there's the difference in the undercarriages of these cars. At first glance, at any glance, they're the same. Nothing. So as far as the undercarriage detail between one and the other, there is no difference. So no difference between the Elite and the Elite Premier as far as the undercarriage difference. Now, what you will have a difference in is this piece here. This is for the AJ Allmendinger Standard Elite. That's plastic. Here is the one for the Napa car. Metal. So these have metal skid plates, or whatever you want to call this, diffuser sheets. So this piece is metal for the Elite Premiers. It is plastic for the Standard Elites. So that is a difference. As far as the detail underneath, no, there is no difference. So I wanted to show you that because I wanted to get in just to show you guys if you had any questions about the detail there. All right, next piece we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pop open the hood. Oh, that's unfortunate. And very first thing I got is a broken piece on the hood. So actually, that's not a bad deal. I can make that work. So, oh, this is awesome. Let me show you guys something here real quick. So there's some detail on the hood there. I'm going to show you, pop open the AJ Allmendinger hood real quick so you guys got a Elite you can compare to. So there's the two different hoods as far as what they look like. Obviously, you can see this one. There is very, very little detail. There's just a black plastic box and another black plastic box. This one, literally the only difference is we have the two tethers, which this one, like I said, fell off. And then we have these here are decaled with like the carbon fiber and the Chevy logo. Outside of that, everything is the exact same underneath the hood. Nothing changed there. So I will say I'm a little bummed. Now, the reason I said I'm not disappointed about this falling off, because this is actually a great sign for me. I'm going to be able to do some stuff with this car. You'll see here how these mount up. All right, let me go to 2x zoom. So how these mount onto the hood is there's a little prong right back here. It's right there. You see it sticking off the hood, just a little prong. And that little prong will get stuck to this piece here, if I can get it to come back out. Golly, it's stuck in there. Come on, all the way out, buddy. So we'll get it figured out. But anyway, the good news is these are not hard to fix. I can fix that relatively easily. But the biggest thing is I can also take it apart easily. So if I want to chassis swap a car, I have options. I can make that change. There we go. Get out of there. Come on. What are you doing? So I got that piece stuck in there. I don't know why I can't seem to get it to come out. Just keeps getting stuck behind the motor, and it does not want to come all the way out. There we go. Now come out. Now come out. Like up. There we go. So there you see the bracket. There's a hole in the bracket right there. I need to focus. Let me try to focus on it. Focus on the bracket. There, you can see it. There's the bracket. There's the hole in the bracket. And that'll just actually stick right up there. And so what I can do is with a little dab of glue, I can fix this. I'm not worried about it. If you have this issue, you can send it back if you want and try to get a return or whatnot. If I have no major paint defects, flaws or anything, I'm not going to risk it because I think this car is still really good. But the good news is I'm just going to slide this up there like that, and I can close the hood. But I can easily get some extra detail in there and get that fixed. So I'm pretty excited for that. So that is something that, like I said, not supposed to be that way. Let's go back to one-time zoom, but it is something that is fixable. So very good news there, because I will definitely be taking one of these apart, and this one's already partway apart, and now I know how they're mounted. And like I said, not as worried about having to put those back because I've done it before with a different car and I use magnets. This one's actually a little bit easier. So if there's ever an issue like that, don't worry. It's not the worst thing in the world. It can be dealt with. But yeah, we'll get to that point at some point. I'll take this off its base, probably with this car, honestly. That way I've got it ready to roll. But as far as the rest of the detail, there's really nothing else about the Elite Premiers to show. Now, if you ask my opinion, would I think it's worth the extra money? In very specific situations, I will say yes. The Elite Premiers are probably worth it for, very special races to you, very special occasions. Should you collect all Elite Premiers for all of your favorite driver? Probably not. The cost is just going to be so much higher. It's $30 difference between the two, straight from Lionel. Now, that being said, as I say that, I also do have these on the website. So if you're curious, you'll notice on my website, a lot of the race wins have the Elite Premier Edition that says $170. These are $150, but I'm also adding pieces to it. So in a situation where somebody gets, say, the Joey Logano All-Star one, they'll get this, they'll get a pin. The pin already is usually worth about $10. And then also I will do the work. I'm going to check with these and make sure they work first, but I'm going to actually make sure if I can mount it inside the case. So I'm going to see if I can get a hole drilled through the case safely and then put the pin on the case so it can hang up in the background. So yeah, the Elite Premier is going to have from my website, it's going to be the Elite Premier Race Craze Edition. It'll be just the one I do a review on, and then I'm going to do a little extra work to it, but it's the same way I would display the cars when I get them, so just curious to see how those work. So anyway, guys, that will pretty much wrap up this diecast review. Let me know your thoughts on the Elite Premier diecast in the comments below. Also, stay tuned. We're going to do a breakdown of all editions of the NASCAR diecast. We're talking Elites, ARCs, all the way back to 2004, every generation of car, every major change that was made to them throughout time, and where we sit today versus where we've sat, say, maybe 10, 15 years ago. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you some good info if you want to get some Elite Premiers. Like I said, on the website, you'll see the Elite Premier Race Craze editions for different race wins. Like I said, there's only one available on the site per listing, so if you wanted one of them, you can pick them up there. Use that promo code RaceCraze at checkout to get yourself that 10% off. Other than that, though, guys, thanks for tuning in. This has been Race Craze. We'll see you in the next one.